I'm changing the transmission fluid on a 2007 Grand Caravan. Second time I've done it, so I thought I'd make a video. Just what you need is some ATF4 automatic transmission fluid plus 4. You need a transmission filter kit. I bought Fram. Use gloves. It's really messy. I'm in the middle of this right now. Lots of gloves. I used Permatex Ultra Copper RTV maker, gasket maker, which is rated for high pressure, high temp. And oil. You need a screwdriver just to kind of pry the oil pan off the bottom of the transmission. A 10mm socket on a wrench. You might need a hammer if the screw or the bolts are in really hard. You might need to whack that with a hammer to open up all the screws. And that's plenty of newspaper or anything to catch the ATF, the automatic transmission fluid, as it drips out. It gets really, really very messy. So lots of newspaper, paper towels, that sort of stuff. You also need a big drip pan. I'm using my my oil change pan. It has a kind of a thin mouth, a narrow mouth. So if you can get one that's like a foot, 2 feet wide, like a really big pan, that would be very helpful. Starting at the front of the car, I'm just ducking underneath. On the right hand side of the car, that is the transmission gear oil pan, which you can see very clearly. There are 14 bolts around the edge, and there's one bolt here which is used to connect. There's a little harness or something right there. So just release all the bolts, crack them open. To start with, do not let them don't do them fully, believe me, because there's liters and liters of transmission fluid up there that will just gush out. What you want to do is release the tops a little bit, maybe a millimeter, and then release all of them about a millimeter, let's say, and have a lot, I don't have it here, but have a lot of newspaper and have a big oil pan down there to catch the drips. And what you'll have to do is, what I did is I started on actually that corner over on the left. I started releasing the bolts along here more than 1 millimeter, and eventually I was able to get the pan to drop and all the fluid started racing out. I used a screwdriver as well, and I just wedged it up there and tried to kind of crack the pan open a little bit, and I slowly let the transmission fluid drip out. And I had to do that because you can't just let it all gush out. So I let it drip out gradually. It took maybe 5 minutes of just prying the pan down with a screwdriver, and then at the end you'll find the drips stop, and you can release the bolts more and more and more and get more and more fluid out, and eventually it will stop completely. You can drop the pan and just take it right off. It stopped dripping. I've got the pan off. I've cleaned the pan off. Now what I need to do is just take a look at the top. I want to make sure that the mating surface where the gear pan attaches to is nice and clean. If not, use the razor blade again and scrape it off, and I would just wipe it down as well with a clean cloth. You can see right there, that is the filter. That just pops right off. No bolting or anything. It's a plastic tube that pops up inside the gear box, and then I've got my oil pan down there collecting all the gun. There's the underside of the transmission, and I've got all the mating surface all cleaned off and nice. The hole where the filter kit plugs into is right there, and like I said, you just pop it off and it just comes right out. Use a razor blade or an X-Acto knife blade and just scrape all the old gasket off the edge. You can see the orange, that's from my copper Permatex gasket maker. Just get it nice and clean, and then I would rub it down with some paper towel, and then of course clean the inside out. Inside, if you're doing this the first time, you'll find the magnet, which is stuck to the bottom of the pan, really full of lots and lots of goop. What this is a magnet that sits on the bottom. As the gears move around, very fine shavings come off, and you can see this magnet then attaches to the bottom of the pan, and the shavings get attracted to the magnet over time. So you can see I'll scrape it here. You can see there's a lot of goop on there. The first time you do this, because it's a new engine, the gears are still meshing together, so you'll probably have a very big accumulation. This is the second time, and I've got there's some gunk on there, but it's nothing like it was the first time. there's the new filter in place. As I said, real easy. There's the little pipe, rubber pipe, plastic pipe that fits up into the transmission. Just place it there, and there's another little fitting right here that helps make sure that you've got it in straight. Just put it up there. It'll sit in, and then whack it with your hand. You'll feel the whole thing pop in. I'm going to change my approach midstream. This is the new filter, and I see Fram has upped their game since the last time I did this, and they've installed or included a gasket, a cork gasket, with their kit. So I'm going to use this in place of the copper gasket maker. There's the oil pan, gear transmission fluid pan. I put the gasket on top, and I just put the bolts back in where they need to go. I put the magnet back in the middle. It can go anywhere. It'll just end up, and it'll be fine. And then just bolt this back up under the transmission the way you got it. Last step, fill up the transmission with automatic transmission fluid, ATF +4. That's the dipstick right there. There's the battery. Ignore that. That's ugly. I need to fix that. That is the dipstick for the gear oil. That's also where you add it in. Because you do this so infrequently, this car doesn't have a special point where you add ATF. Okay, so just pull that out. Put a good siphon. I use one of these right into where the dipstick is, and put in enough until the dipstick reads okay. It should be about 4 quarts. Okay, approximately 4 liters. Right, there's my siphon. I'm done. I've put 4 quarts in. You can see it right down there, and this car is good to go. All right, good luck if you're doing this yourself.